Nothing says I love you quite like spousal Social Security benefits and a strategically inherited IRA. Ooh,
Ooh,
baby.
really?
So today we're discussing two of the hottest topics in gayland, marriage equality and retirement security.
Exactly. This is Queer Money episode 567. And whether you're married for love or for financial security, this episode is for you.
That's right. We're tackling the ever so romantic question, should you marry your BFF as part of your retirement plan? Spoiler alert, it might be worth the paperwork. So let's get on with the show. With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, banking with Capital One is the easiest decision in the history of decisions. That's banking reimagined. What's in your wallet? Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One, N.A., member FDIC. Ooh, spouser and survivor benefits.
Yeah, this is one of the most unsexy topics, that's for sure. But it's when you think about the financial benefits, it can be kind of sexy to think about those benefits in retirement,
Yeah,
right?
we're going to talk some money and why we believe it's even important today, despite the upcoming administration and some of the Supreme Court justices' outspoken opinions about whether or not Obergefell should be overturned. We still think it's important for same-sex couples, for LGBT people, to get married.
Yeah.
So we're going to give a quick overview of the importance of Social Security benefits, including spousal and survivor benefits, highlight why understanding these benefits is crucial to our financial security. We're also going to discuss inherited IRAs and how that is impacted by marriage.
Yeah, and I think one of the important things to think about here is maybe now is the right time to get married because you might get grandfathered in under certain laws if the Supreme Court or the administration decides to overturn marriage equality.
Yeah, we're not exactly sure what the string of events is, but if Obergefell is overturned, maybe the Marriage Protection Act triggers in. We're not entirely sure. This is all above our pay grade. All we know is that if you get married now, you may have the opportunity to be grandfathered in, or at least your marriage may be respected in some states, which would maybe then require moving, but at least you have the option.
Yeah.
So let's tackle these challenges, David.
Right. So the first one is Social Security. And Social Security breaks down two ways: spousal and survivor benefits. So what are these? Well, let's take spousal benefits first. Basically, spousal benefits are Social Security benefits that you receive if you're married to a worker who is also entitled to Social Security benefits. There is a requirement. You do have to be married for at least 12 months in order to access these benefits. There's also a minimum age requirement. So in order for you to start getting these benefits, you have to be 62 years old. You can be younger if you're caring for a child under the age of 16 or a disabled child of the spouse that is claiming the benefits. So it's really important here that what you're really tapping into is this idea that this person worked their butt off, is getting Social Security, and maybe I can get some of that too.
Yeah,
So
this was kind of designed way back in the days of yore when the wife stayed home and the husband worked. If the husband passed away, the wife needed something to take care of her, and so they said, "Well, you were the spouse, so you should get that."
And this isn't actually for if your spouse has passed away. This is while your spouse is living. You get access to
Right.
these.
Yeah.
So how much can you get? Well, you can get up to 50% of the worker's primary insurance amount. That primary insurance amount is kind of code word for saying whatever their Social Security check is. You can get up to 50% of that. But remember that if their amount has been reduced because they started taking benefits before they reach full retirement age, you get half of that reduced amount. You don't get half of what they would have got at full retirement age. It's also important to remember here that that because this is a spousal benefit, you want to take a look at both your benefit and their benefit. And as John mentioned, this was kind of designed back for when maybe the wife worked but didn't work as much and maybe didn't qualify, or maybe her Social Security benefits were quite low because she didn't work a significant number of years because of taking care of kids. This allowed her benefit to actually come up, and so you want to do the same calculation. What do I get on my own? What is 50% of my spouse's benefit? Whichever is higher, that's the one you can claim.
Exactly. So the next one is survivor benefit. So this is for those who have been married for at least 9 months. I guess there's some consolation if your spouse dies with you, dies on you in the first year.
Yeah, that
The
sucks.
widow or widowers and certain divorced spouses who are married for at least 10 plus years qualify for this benefit. So if you are divorced from your spouse, but you were married at least 10 years, you may also qualify for this. But we have some caveats that we'll talk about later.
Yep.
There's also an age requirement for this as well. Starting at age 62 is when the benefit can kick in, or 50 years of age if you are disabled, or you could be younger if you're caring for a disabled child of the spouse for whom you're claiming the benefit.
Yeah. The mission of Queer Money is to financially empower the LGBTQ plus community. Join us in thanking Capital One for supporting that mission. So,
Good.
I was going to say, how much can you receive here? This one is different. You actually can get 100% of the deceased worker's benefit, but as we mentioned earlier, if they started taking their benefits earlier and they had been reduced because they had started taking them before they reached full retirement age, you're going to get that amount, not 100% of what their full retirement is.
As always with these types of conversations, talk to a financial planner or your accountant.
Yeah. And there are some special cases here. We talked about this whole idea of marriage. If you are divorced from your spouse and you get married after the age of 60, then you still can claim these benefits. There's no impact on that. But if you get married before the age of 60, remarried before the age of 60, well, you may be SOL.
Yeah.
You may not be able to claim these full
That
benefits.
first spouse's benefits.
Right. So, what's really important here is to do these calculations, to actually think about this. And I think this may be the reason why we're seeing so many women who are under the age of 60 saying, I'm not going to get remarried.
Don't say I do.
I don't. Yeah, they're saying I'm going to hold off because if they wait until after the age of 60 and they had a spouse, a husband who was earned a significant amount of money and they either weren't working or didn't earn a whole lot, they could get a really large benefit check for Social Security. So do the calculations.
Okay. And the second reason to get married, David?
Inherited IRAs. So this is one we just talked about several episodes ago with Jake Scalhorn about some changes that were coming up for 2025. And there are some changes that recently took place, but we want to talk about, first of all, what is an inherited IRA? An inherited IRA is when you're the beneficiary on someone's tax-deferred account. That tax-deferred account could be an IRA, a Roth, a 401k, or other similar employer-sponsored plan. So that's when you are listed on that account as the beneficiary, and then they pass away, you get that account.
You get a benefit. One of
Or
the benefits
a portion of it.
one of the benefits is that the account is transferred without having to pay taxes. That's the case as of now. I know that's one of the things that Congress is thinking about tackling and changing in the future. But as of right now, you would not have to pay an inheritance tax because you are the spouse. So that's transferred to you in full, and then you can start taking distributions at your own rate and not your spouse's rate. That could be something that's changing as well.
Yeah, I think the benefit here is if you're married, you get a huge tax benefit if your spouse passes away. And this, to be honest, this was one of the reasons why the Supreme Court decided on marriage equality, was because there was a huge tax burden being held on the shoulders of same-sex couples, and they said that just isn't fair. So, what were the changes that affect this? These changes came from the Secure Act 2.0. So, non-spousal beneficiaries. So, if you aren't married and somebody lists you as a beneficiary, so maybe the two of you have been living together for the last 25 years, and you listed each other as beneficiaries, right? If you're not married, your non-spousal beneficiary, that person needs to withdraw all of the funds from that tax-deferred account within 10 years. And if they had already started taking the distributions, their required minimum distributions every year, then you have to also take those distributions every single year in that 10-year time frame, which could mean that if you are Close to, but not in retirement age, you may be forced to take all of this tax deferred retirement money out of the tax deferred shelter and put it in taxed accounts. So it could end up causing a huge tax bill for you. So this may be the reason why you find a friend, or if you've been living with somebody for a long time and you are romantically involved, it may be the reason to get married.
Yeah, so exactly. So if you are in a relationship, we said this like almost a decade ago. If you're in a relationship, get married for these benefits, if for no other reason. If and also it may be worth partnering up with a non-romantic partner to get married to protect some of your assets and keep them within the community. You contributed into the system, so somebody in your logical family should benefit from all that hard work that you did, and then we keep the money within the community. But of course, pay attention to everything that the Supreme Court does, what the next administration does. All of this could be changing, but we still just think it makes more sense to get married now in case there's an opportunity to be grandfathered in. And then, of course, make sure you do a prenup before you sign on the dotted line. That way, if you're in a non-romantic relationship, you protected both of your sets of assets, and you know what the benefits are going to be for each of you.
Yeah, exactly.
Capital One Auto Navigator does more than just auto financing. We're here to help you find a car you love, too. Shop millions of cars from thousands of dealers nationwide. Research your favorite makes and models. Explore dealers near you and more. All on Auto Navigator.
Thank you for joining us for another episode. Come back Tuesday when we chat about investing in real estate using your 401k money. And on Thursday when we share tools that can help you retire earlier.
Until next time,
Stay fabulous.
Bye.